I live in a world where it's almost a crime to be late. Late for work, late for meetings. The hustle and bustle of meeting deadlines, staying on top of all that needs to be done. It's crazy. I'm inevitably stressed to the max just trying to get out the door. But for the most part, I like to think that I'm prompt. I strive for promptness. I am prompt. Except when I'm late. But when things get really hairy, I just slow down and allow myself to take my time. I remind myself that it's okay to be late, that if I trust my own timing, my own process, I'll be okay. And that's usually when I think of my great-grandmother, Maud Mary Price of Liverpool, England, who missed the boat. The boat she missed was the Titanic. In 1912, my great-grandmother, Maud Mary, was a widow with 3 young children, all under the age of 10. Life as a widow in Liverpool was bleak. The future? Uncertain. Maud wanted a new start, and so she purchased 4 tickets on the maiden voyage of the most unsinkable ship of all time, the RMS Titanic. It was to be a grand adventure. The youngest of her 3 children was my gem of a grandfather, John James Price, known to all who knew him as Jack, and for me as my beloved Grandpa Jack. Maud was formerly Maud Mary Towell of Holyhead, Anglesey, Wales, and she was a servant in the Seaforth district of Liverpool before meeting my great-grandfather, Thomas Henry Price. Thomas was a soldier in the British Army and fought in wars in India, so I'm told. I've always loved India. The Titanic sailed from 3 ports: Southampton, England, Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, Ireland. Their plan was to travel by horse and carriage to Liverpool, and then take the train to London. From there, they'd make their way to Southampton and board the Titanic. 497 third-class passengers boarded at Southampton, but not my great-grandmother. She was late. The wheel broke on their horse and carriage. When I think about her in mourning, 3 young children, moving to a new country, leaving all that she knew behind her, took great guts, don't you think? I wonder what happened when that wheel broke. Did she fret? Did she yell and scream? Did she despair? I don't think so. Perhaps she just wanted a good cup of tea. Perhaps Maud was taking it all in stride. Maybe she had cried enough, the pressure and sadness of losing her husband, the bleakness of life in Liverpool without him. She was strong. You can see it in how she stands. She was going to start a new life. The Titanic would take her and the children to it. But curses, the wheel broke. There were 2,228 passengers and crew on board the Titanic when it left its final port. 1,523 people lost their lives. And so, dear great-grandmother Maud Mary, I thank you for being late for a very important date. You took the next boat, the Grampian, and arrived in Quebec in May of 1912. Your son, my Grandpa Jack, married my grandmother, also named Mary, and they in turn had my mum, Patricia Beverly, who in turn married my dad, Gerald Eugene, who in turn had me. And then I had my son, who was 10 days late, but came into the world all the same. I thank Maud Mary for being late. I'm grateful for this precious life. And if I'm late, I'll count it as a blessing in disguise.